It's time to feel the rage. Welcome to Film Rage, where we talk movies. For the foreseeable future, there will be a whole lot of streaming talk. But directors and actors, you must still beware, as you cannot hide from the rage. My name is Bryce, and I'm part of the Film Rage crew, which also includes Jim, who is joining us via walk-around phone from his luxurious condo. Hello, Jim.
Hey.
And normally we would also have Murray, but he is still away, so we will continue to anxiously await his return. We miss you, Murr. Especially me, as I try to produce the technical side of the podcast and still deliver the witty banter I am known and loved for. So with the introductions out of the way, let's rage on.
All right, the schedule this week is jam-packed as usual, but I think we may be able to get it under an hour for the first time in a long time. So just going to talk about what the agenda is. We got streaming. We got submissions to the Undoubted, the Doubted and Mesmerized. We talk about our favorite sci-fi or fantasy genre. Jim and Bryce, Open Rage. Rage or Dare. Was Top Gun as big a fear as Bryce and Jim thought it was?
I think it
or
might
did
be.
the three song soundtrack win them over with musical bliss?
It probably didn't.
I'm kind of thinking not. So I dropped my phone, which is great on technology.
Nice.
But we went and we streamed a bunch of stuff last week. So time to stream.
Nice.
Streaming. Motherfucking streaming. We're just streaming. Right?
Streaming.
All right. So we watched Crip Camp on Netflix, the 2020 delivery. I like this one. I thought it was good. It's interesting the amount of sort of films that have been sort of come out. You know, everybody's got their piece. And one of the things I think was missing from this new, Black Lives Matter or the Me Too movement or all of that is this was, to me, now, like I've lived with disabilities in my past, and there's been times where I have not been able to walk.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting for me when I see this movie, and like I always, wherever I go in any city, I think to myself, now if I was still not able to walk, how would I get to these places? I still think that way. And so this movie for me, and maybe it was more personal for me, I don't know, I'll get your opinion in a minute, but to me this movie was a mondo. I liked that the direction of where this was coming from was from the people that was involved. Everybody in that movie that had a physical disability kept their dignity.
Yep. Absolutely.
I don't think I've ever seen a movie that, to me, like, was I blown away by the movie itself? I'd say probably not. Like, I don't think necessarily the direction was as great as I think it could have been, the way they put the movie together. But the fact that through it, I was like, wow, like, I feel for each one of these people. Like, they developed each person's character, who they were.
Yep.
It was the main lady who ended up becoming just the most.
Yeah, I don't remember her name.
I saw it so many days ago that I forgot her name. I'm going to try and look it up. But,
yeah, go ahead. Well,
Judy?
Yeah, I think that was Judith Human.
Yeah,
yeah,
it was Judith. Yeah, so I mean, she was an amazing, like, even when they showed her in her younger days, because they basically, the film shows is this documentary that's been made up over since. Basically, it was like went Woodstock, and then went from Woodstock to these kids at this camp. So most of the people that volunteered or were counselors at this, they're smoking a lot of dope, having a lot of promiscuous sex. I mean,
they were indeed.
Got everything you want. Actually, one of my favorite scenes from this whole movie was when two of the campers got crabs. Like, everybody got crabs.
Everybody got crabs.
It was like, okay, so what happened? I went to Crip Camp and I got crabs.
Yeah.
If that was me, if I was one of those people that was in a wheelchair, I'd be like, yeah, I'm getting a T-shirt of that.
Yeah, so
right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, it was a solid doc. I mean, as you say, from a technical aspect, maybe some of the stuff could have been, better put together and whatnot. But when you got a story like this to tell, it was good. I like the use of raw footage at the beginning, and the fact that they didn't overly glorify any of the principals. They just kind of showed who they were, and they didn't need to, do anything like that. It was a story worth telling. And it is amazing the change that seemed to have started with this, little camp, simply by listening and treating the campers with respect, and how just by doing that they all, like a whole bunch of them, actually went on to really make a difference. It was satisfying to see that many of them went on to make real change in the world for the better. So I'm with you. It's a mondo.
Yeah, and interesting, like to your point about them carrying on the message from that doc, that a lot of them, and as you saw them later on in life, when they're in like San Francisco, or whenever they had a call out, it was like they were calling them the camp kids, right? Like it was like these camp kids who had so much of their dignity to be able to move forward in life and to do things and
that was all what it was
change.
all about. It was giving them that dignity, and the fact that once they had it, where they went from there was really quite amazing.
Yeah, and do you remember there was a scene in the movie when they went to that, I forget the name of the place, but it was like this giant facility for people who have, learning disabilities and mental disabilities, and perhaps some physical disabilities. And it was like, I felt like they were walking through like the scenes from the Holocaust. It was disgusting.
Yeah. No,
and I, to think that that we treated people like this, and there's a lot of people I've met over my years who've actually been a real positive influence on me, who've been in a wheelchair. So, and people that can do things that I could never do, right?
Yeah.
Like, I know a guy who's in a wheelchair who skied down mountains, and I'm like, what?
What's that about?
So there's nothing they can't do, right? Like, even them playing baseball, that was the best. Like, the whole thing was like, okay, playing baseball, okay, I can't run. That's okay. Someone will carry you. Or
no, absolutely.
It was a real good, feel good movie.
It was.
Yeah, definitely Mondo.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
So
that was on Netflix.
Yeah. So
then the platform.
The platform, also Netflix. So,
what do you think?
I like this movie a lot. To be honest, sometimes I'm not a fan of being hit over the head with social commentary, which this movie definitely does. However, the movie worked for me anyway. It was definitely a movie that was meant to reflect society, as the upper floors represented the rich and the lower floors represented the poor. The premise of the movie is basically a giant social experiment. It's kind of sad that the movie assumes that when given the choice, those who are provided with more will indulge and leave little for those with less. Still, it made for an entertaining movie. The movie would have been pretty boring if everyone just took their share and made and made sure everyone was taken care of. That wouldn't have been, as fun a movie, to be honest.
It probably would have been as short, right?
Yeah, it would have been. And everybody loved each other. So.
Yeah, and everybody loved each other, and it became an orgy.
But yeah, no, I
platform.
I really liked it. I'm gonna mondo this one as well.
Yeah, I'm going to jump on that bandwagon. I really loved this movie. Yeah. The director, Galder, I'm going to butcher his name, Gaztalu Urrutia. I can't even do it. But I think this was...
Galder Gaztalu Urrutia.
Yeah, thank you. From Spain.
Yes.
Like, there's been some good stuff coming out of Spain lately. And horror movies.
Yeah.
This one, you know what? And the last, when the movie opened, I kept thinking to myself, how are they going to make a 2-hour movie out of this? Like, I don't even, like, and I was just like, okay, it started off a little slow for me, so it was kind of like, and then it was just
pacing was perfect.
Yeah.
In fact, they could have slowed it down a little. I would have been happy.
Slowed down even further. I know you like things going at a snail's pace, but Yeah, I think the introduction of the mom character,
Yeah.
Maharu was her name in the story.
Yeah.
Brilliantly done. Like just the way they tied everything in, and then how the last. I don't want to give a lot of spoilers for people. I think everybody should see this movie.
Yeah, that was excellent.
I think it's the social commentary, to your point, really does drill home.
Yeah, well,
there is enough for everybody.
It couldn't be in your face anymore, but
yeah,
it still
well, that's
worked.
what made it so good, right? I love.
Yeah,
Like,
and that's in this
particular,
particular, and if you're gonna have something that's in your face, well, you're gonna do it in a horror movie, obviously. Well, I don't know if I'd call it a horror movie, but a
pretty horrifying one.
Yeah,
like,
I suppose it is. Yeah.
There's not very many times you see people cutting off somebody's leg to eat in front of them.
Fair enough. So yeah, no, there's some impressive visuals that will stay with you in this movie, and it was really good.
All right, so that's two. What's going on? This is Mondo week for us.
It is, but I have a feeling, and I don't know for sure, but the next movie may not be a Mondo for either of us. But let's hear what Jim has to say about Code 8.
Yeah, so this actually is going to generate my rage this week.
Well then, I guess it was. It was worth watching then.
It was worth. You know what? This is my opinion about movies that are meh. Okay, so
right.
If a movie is a meh, I think you've said this before. If it's a meh, it really isn't worth my time.
Yep.
Like if I'm not angry at the end of it,
if I'm not either really happy or really angry, then why did I watch it? It's like I could have just rewatched a movie that I know I love. Yes.
Right. So for me, I'm so tired of these like superhero movies. They're just trying to mishmash together to try and fill space. It's like it's the new trend, and I'll talk about that more in my rage. But like, I had such big hopes because there's a couple actors in here that I kind of like, but overall, I was kind of like, what the hell, man? This is not good.
Yeah. Well, here's how I felt about it. Crap movie. Fell asleep with about 20 minutes left.
That was the best time to fall asleep.
Okay, so went back and started to watch the last 20 minutes again and fell asleep again. This time, I slept through the night, though. I got up in the morning. Yeah, I got up in the morning and queued up.
This movie's a Mondo for you.
Got up in the morning and I queued up the last 20 minutes one more time. Finally got through it with my eyes open. And I only tell you this story because I feel it is more entertaining than anything I saw in this movie. Rage.
Well, you know what? Now that I'm hearing you say that, maybe I'll put the movie on when I can't sleep at night. I have one of those sleepless nights, like, I had too much caffeine, or just like I'm wired because it's Sunday night and I have to go to work tomorrow.
It should do it.
Yeah, it was. In contrast to that, not that we're going to talk about that movie, but I had watched Freaks a couple of weeks ago, and in contrast to that movie, this movie made me rage so hard. So I'm like, if you're going to do one of these type of genres, do it and well.
Yeah.
Just don't do it, or don't do it at all.
Yeah, maybe just.
Okay, that's two rages. Back to back rages.
Yeah.
Well, we're in sync this week. What the hell's going on?
We are completely in sync. That's not really making for entertaining podcasts. We're better when we're butting heads here.
Oh, we're going to be butting heads on our list, buddy. I can almost guarantee it.
Yes,
some of the shit that you're going to pull out of your ass.
I pulled it and I'm waiting to hear. I have no idea what you're listening to. It's kind of one of those weird lists where sci-fi could go a whole bunch of different ways. But
well, did you even imagine that things on my list last week would show up on my list?
I didn't, and I would imagine that we're going to have a similar thing going on this week. But before we get to all that, we still got one more streaming movie to talk about.
Yes, we do.
We both had to watch this because we had to decide whether good old John Travolta was doubted or not. So we neither of us had seen enough of his stuff in the last little while. We had to kind of fill in the gaps here. So we watched Criminal Activities. I'm gonna be honest with you, and I'm not saying it was good, but it was better than I thought it was gonna be.
It was as well. Yes, I'm with you.
Yeah, the premise was a little ridiculous, and the actions of some of the characters were pretty convoluted. It was pretty much a Tarantino knockoff, but the flashbacks at the end still left me with some questions, which I just hate flashbacks. But I actually thought John Travolta's performance was pretty good in this one. I liked Michael Pitt. I always liked Jackie Earle Haley, who directed and starred in this. This was Haley's first effort as a director, and it kind of showed. Overall, it was a meh. It wasn't the train wreck that other recent efforts by Travolta have been. So, still meh. But I believe if you also give it either a meh or a rage, that's going to put John on the doubted list. But what say you, Jim?
It absolutely is, because it's a meh. It almost got to rage with me, and only so I do. It was very predictable to me. Like, I knew everything. This plot is not unusual. To your point, I think that the acting from the kids in it did really well. I wasn't as enamored with Travolta's acting.
I really liked his performance in this. I really did.
Yeah, I could take it or leave it. Like, it wasn't potato, but it was maybe potato.
It was so much better than but maybe it's just he's lowered the bar so much for me as of late that this kind of brought me back to Pulp Fiction a little bit. He was a little
but he was better in Pulp Fiction.
He was, but he's been so bad. This was like, it was almost like, okay, you could still be in a movie given the proper script and be fairly entertaining, but
yeah, I don't know. He was mad. The movie was mad.
I liked it.
The script was bad.
The script wasn't.
The whole Kaiser Soze thing at the end was like, whatever. Who didn't see that coming? Right from the beginning.
I honestly thought a couple things didn't really connect, but whatever. But the script was a bit of a mess. I found myself not hating it though, which was so much better. And I thought, like,
no.
I really watching it. I'm like, I really expected to hate this, and I don't. As I say, I really liked a couple of the performances in it, and it was meh.
It was kind of like that summer breeze make me feel fine.
Okay.
Washed over you like a. It was, whatever. So, as we had discussed last week, because everything else we saw of his that wasn't a lot was all rage. This had to make it to a Mondo for us to keep him to not be on the list.
I
mean, we'll talk about it, but I think it's official. He's basically on the doubted list.
He definitely is. So on that, why don't we get on with that? I think it's time, Jim, to start talking about Doubted, Undoubted, or Mesmerized.
We talked to Doubted. The Doubted is definitely him.
Yep.
Did you have anybody to bring forward?
I've got some people. What do you want to start with? I've got a couple of Undoubteds and I got a Mesmerized.
What? I've got a Mesmerized too. So I was given to her.
Okay, let's start with the Mesmerized. I nominate Philip Baker Hall.
Okay. Give me your argument.
He's mesmerizing. Every time the guy's on the screen, I can't look away. Even like if you watch Hard 8, he was so good in that. It's like I really like Philip Baker Hall.
I don't mind him actually. I'm trying to think what else he's been in.
He's been in a ton of stuff. I don't know. I should have had that a little more. I actually have my other ones a little more prepared. I kind of threw him in at the end because he happened to be in a movie I was looking at.
Yeah, I'm just looking at his work, and I know who he is, obviously.
Yeah.
I would say I'd give it a yeah.
He was Mr. Bookman from Seinfeld, man.
Yeah,
which is one of the greatest performances I've ever seen. I never laughed so hard as here's me talking about TV when, but yeah.
And he was in Boogie Nights.
He was in Boogie Nights. Yeah, he was in P.T. Anderson.
He was in Argo. I know it was uncredited, but he's
he was. Yeah, he's just like when he's on the and the thing about Philip Baker Hall is he's only starred in like actually starred in a like Hard 8 was the biggest role of his career really.
Yeah, he's always been.
He's
like,
always been kind of it. But when he's on the
guy.
screen, he's always a supporting actor. But when he's on the screen, he's the best part of the movie. Like, almost every time.
Yeah, you can't.
When he's on,
it's funny.
It's awesome.
You've got me thinking about a few people that aren't on our list, but I'll save it till later. But just because this is a good thing to discuss. Yeah, he's. I would say he's in done.
Cool. Do you want to alternate, or you want me to just keep on rolling with what I got?
Hit yours down, and I'll.
Okay, so you ready?
I'll give you mine at the end.
Are you ready for an Undoubted?
An Undoubted. Okay, let's have it.
I nominate Michael Cera.
Okay, well, that might not make it, and the only reason I'm thinking is that I know he has made some stuff that I do not like. So,
okay, well, I'll give you.
Not that I don't like him.
I'll give you his last. I'll give you his last 9, and I'll give you what I think of him. Gloria Bell, meh. Spivak, Mondo. Terrell, Mondo. Molly's Game, meh. Although he was Mondo in it.
Wait, back that up, because I've seen all his stuff too. So I want to go with it along the way.
Okay.
So if it comes up with something, okay.
Gloria Bell, meh.
When Gloria. Yep.
Spivak, Mondo.
Yep. Agree.
Terrell, Mondo.
Yep.
Molly's Game, meh.
Yeah. Agreed.
How to Be a Latin Lover, Mondo.
Yeah.
So funny.
Yeah.
Lemon, Mondo.
Yeah, totally Mondo.
Person to Person, Mondo.
Haven't seen it, but I'm going to take your word for it.
Entertainment. Entertainment is like a super duper Mondo. I love that movie.
Yeah, I've seen that too. It's good.
Yeah, and Hits, Mondo. Like, if we're going, I realized before that you might have some, but in his last 9, he's Undoubted.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. The only one I haven't seen was that one. And I think his choices sort of speak for itself.
Yeah,
so.
his choices as of late have been tremendous.
I'll give you that one.
All right.
Yeah, which is good for him though, right? Which
he's
up later in the podcast, by the way.
Yeah, cool. And
awesome.
I'm while I'm rolling here, I might as well, I have so few nominations in the past. I figured, well, we'll just keep them rolling.
Yeah, make up for it.
Yeah, exactly. It's about time, eh? Director. Yeah. We're gonna go with a director. We're going with.
It's Undoubted.
Yes, Undoubted. Chan Wook-Park. Last 8. The Handmaiden, which I thought was Mondo. Stoker, which I also thought was Mondo. Thirst was absolutely Mondo. I Am Cyborg, but That's Okay was Mondo. Lady Vengeance was absolutely Mondo. Old Boy was super Mondo, one of my favorite movies ever. Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, Mondo. And Joint Security Area was Mondo. That was an early effort. That's 8 back, and it was really good. What say you?
I have seen.
Yes.
Give me a sec. I'm just pulling it up. I have seen 5 of those 8.
Right.
And I would agree with all of them.
Yes. I mean, he literally has not made a movie that I haven't thought was Mondo. So that's why he's definitely Undoubted for me. If you need to watch one or two more before I understand.
No, I think, and the reason I'm saying I don't think I need to is because the 5 that I have seen of him have been Mondo.
They're all Mondo.
So unless they came up with a Rage, then the Maz were split, it's still going to be
it's going to be tough to get him off that list because I guarantee he doesn't have any Rages, and I guarantee you're not going to come with back-to-back Maz here.
No, I can't imagine.
Yeah,
like, just the work that I've seen of his.
Yeah, he's so good.
Before it's just adding it on here, obviously not. Maybe some of our listeners don't see as many films as that's from the international works. But interestingly, we've been talking about Korean films a lot this year.
Yeah, we have. Because they make such good movies.
A Korean director.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So of those, which would you say is your favorite?
Oh, Old Boy's my favorite. The original Old Boy, of course, not the remake with what's his head. What the heck is his name?
Yeah,
now his name's left
different.
me.
Oh well, doesn't matter.
No.
this is the one you want to see anyway.
Exactly. Watch the Korean. Read the subtitles. It's so good.
Yeah. I really love Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance.
So good.
It's such a good film.
Yeah.
It's on Shudder, by the way.
Is it? Cool. I might have to watch it again.
It's on Shudder. Who wouldn't watch it?
Yeah.
All right, so that's two on Undoubted. Wow, we had to put one on Undoubted for a long time, and bam, bam.
Bam, bam. That's the thing, though. When I bring the Undoubted, there'll be at least some healthy debate about it. It's not like, he's out.
Yeah.
I tell
exactly.
you, because I'm not just throwing them out there, Jim. I got some backing here. I know what I'm talking about. So, what say you, my friend?
Yeah.
I know you've got some submissions as well.
Well, I actually don't have the submission. The submission came from our fantastic photographer.
All right.
So Leonard gave us Toshiro Mifune as Mesmerized.
Yep.
Who was in a bunch.
Did he? Okay, so he gave him. We're doing this as Mesmerized because in your email that I thought he was going to be Undoubted.
Well, no, sorry, that's my bad. He gave it for Mesmerized because obviously there's probably too many movies that we may or may not have seen.
Yeah,
so,
it's not even that. It's that if you go over his last date and he hasn't made anything since about 95 or something. Unfortunately, in that was Shadow of the Wolf, which was total crap. It was a rage.
But he was probably mesmerizing. So
and that's the whole thing. And I kind of just wrote down if you want to nominate to the Mesmerized list, I got no problem with that. But he definitely can't be on the Undoubted because three movies back he made a total piece of dog crap. But unfortunately, sometimes that's what happens when you come over and try to break into the North American market.
In translation to get you, this is the script. What is it like? And guess what? You chose wrong because it's a terrible script.
Yeah. So.
All right.
But Mesmerized. I'm on board with
going
that.
on Mesmerized.
Yeah, Mesmerized is good.
This has been a solid week.
We're adding names left and right, and of course, and that brings us to John Travolta. Does it?
Well, yeah.
So I think we've agreed he's doubted.
He is doubted.
Yeah.
And there's no way around that.
There really is.
I'm actually just recording this for posterity. This is a perfect opportunity to tell everybody that we have a website that people can go to and check out all of our lists. So if you're listening to this now, make sure to check out our website, which is filmrageyyc.com. And you can check out our rating systems, the crew, the list, some candidates, how to contact us. So, yeah, I have to throw that plug in there while we get the opportunity.
Cool. So, all right, sir. I think that's going to take us to our next segment, which we've got music for and everything.
I
am so good on this machine, man. My technical prowess is just crazy.
It's just dripping. You're dripping with prowess.
I am.
So I'm going to take your advice from last week. I'm not going to start at number one because that's just too much suspense to give you.
Exactly. You got to build up to the big payoff at the end, man. We don't want to know your favorite right off the bat. Let's get to it. That's not how lists work.
Sometimes it's nice to just have an orgasm.
When they do America's Top 40, they don't start at number one.
Yeah, but we're not America's Top 40.
We're better.
Like I said, sometimes you just want to orgasm and then cuddle for a couple hours. But so these are my runner-ups. Okay, so
your runner-up?
Didn't try to split this up. Yeah, I've got runner-up. So these are not on my top 10. Yeah. But these are my runner-up. Seeing as how you filled so many runners-up for last week, I was like, God, I can't even. I didn't even think we would find 10 comedies that we actually liked, but apparently we did like some comedies.
We did. We liked so many that I had to add in a bunch more.
I know. Well, this genre is
We're talking about the history of movies. We're obviously going to be able to come up with a few. That would be pretty sad if we couldn't come up with 10 comedies. That would have been horrible.
True, but
in the history of films, I could only come up with 7 that I actually liked.
Yeah, well, that could have been possible, I guess.
Anyways,
at the time, I didn't think I could think of them, but you saw my list.
Yes.
Not all of them were classified as comedy.
Let's recap what we're doing this week. So it's our favorite film from genre, sci-fi or fantasy.
Sci-fi fantasy.
Yes.
Slash fantasy.
Slash fantasy. Yes. Not or slash fantasy.
Here's the runners-up that did not make my top 10. Okay.
Lay it on me.
Terminator. Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
Forrest Gump.
What? Okay.
The Fifth Element.
Eh.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
It's cool.
Edge of Tomorrow. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Ooh, made my list.
Pilgrim versus the World.
Oh, so good.
Michael Cera.
Yeah.
The Fly, 1986 version, and Edward Scissorhands. So those are my runners-up.
Cool.
Number 10, and I'm not going to tell you what it is, but see if you can guess it. So I'm going to give you my intro first, and then see if you can guess it.
All right, lay it on me.
The best thing Harrison Ford has ever done.
All right.
Rutger Hauer is brilliant as a sexy-killing man-bot. Ridley Scott brings us to a future that even today
still Blade Runner,
real and dark as it did back in 1982. Number 10 is Blade Runner. Number 9.
Yes.
This 1957 Swedish black and white disturbing and grim masterpiece by Ingmar Bergman. The Seventh Seal.
Yes. I feel dumb. Yep.
And it's there. Now, Guillermo del Toro's brilliance shines so much horror in this Spanish fantasy masterpiece.
Pan's Labyrinth.
That's true. Sci-fi, the Wachowskis, no matter what the gender, I love these two so much. And this is the movie that made my man, Keanu Reeves, a household name.
That would be The Matrix.
I know you, Kung Fu. That's The Matrix.
Yes, indeed.
Carpenter's greatest horror and Kurt Russell's mwah.
The Escape from New York.
No, that was a good guess, though.
Was that Carpenter? I don't even know. The Thing, yes. I was dumb. I should have given myself 2 seconds to think about that one. I'm sitting here on, like rapid fire, like I'm on a game show, but I could actually think for a second or two.
Yeah, you can think about it for a couple of seconds. You're still going to get the prize.
There's no one else that's going to jump in this week, you know. So
that's right.
I can let it marinate.
Yeah, soak up the juices. Soak them all up. 1979. I'm taking you back to 1979. I saw this in the theaters when it came out.
Yeah.
Donald Sutherland at his creepy finest. Attack of the Pod People. Best movie ending ever.
Why is this not entering my head? I know what it is, and for some reason the name.
Pod People. Donald Sutherland.
Yeah, I know.
1979.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
That's it.
Yes. I don't know why that left my brain there, but.
Yeah, it's okay, man. You're probably going to, if you hit me with the same
so
thing,
much pressure.
I know, so much pressure. Damn you all to hell. Or, who doesn't love sexy chimpanzees who can talk?
Yes, the Planet
From
of the
1968,
Apes.
that is the original Planet of the Apes.
Nice.
Number 3.
We're getting into the top 3. Now we're getting serious.
This is the top 3. This is a sci-fi.
Yep.
So I'll give you a hint, although you're going to know it probably after about the 5th word.
All right.
Action-packed, cheesy comedy, drenched alien murder and mayhem on all sides. Yes, please. They mostly come at night. Mostly.
I don't know.
It's aliens.
Okay. Fantastic. I don't know how I was supposed to get that from whatever.
Let me read it again. Action-packed, cheesy comedy, drenched alien murder, and mayhem on all sides. Yes, please. They mostly come at night. Mostly.
Yeah, I don't know.
Still nothing? Not reading the aliens? Okay. No. That was number 3.
Yep.
Number 2. This is a fantasy.
All right.
Fencing, fighting, torture, revenge, giants, monsters, chases, escapes, true love, miracles, say no more.
Time Bandits. Oh, Princess Bride.
The Princess Bride. There you go. Good one. You redeemed yourself.
Sort of.
And number one, with a bullet, by far my favorite sci-fi fantasy of all time.
Yes.
Which also, if you know how much rage I felt over the last few months listening to musicals, this is also a musical. This fantasy, based on a book, has singing, teamwork, star-studded cast, a dirigible, poppies, gold, doggies, lions, emeralds, witches, flying monkeys, shot in black and white, although it looks like sepia, and color, and of course, ruby slippers.
Yeah, that almost made my list, and it just didn't quite make my list. But yeah, The Wizard of Oz.
That's right. Jim likes some musicals.
There's, if you know what, if it's done right, and The Wizard of Oz, that was, what is that, 1939?
1939. So my favorite line from the movie, I know 3 shiftless farmhands that will be out of work before they know it. Released in 1939, directed primarily by Victor Fleming. This has like something like 7 or 8 uncredited directorial credits. Who also directed Treasure Island, Gone with the Wind, and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
There's
based on the children's book written by L. Frank Baum in 1900.
Yeah, no, and that's the whole thing. I mean, there's only a handful of stuff that really holds up from the 30s. And that's definitely one of them. Like you can watch that now and it's still fantastic.
The color in it.
Oh yeah, it's no, it's good. It's very, very good. That is an excellent list. Overall, I like your list, man. I don't see too much wrong with it. Some of your honorable mentions there before I didn't completely agree with, but your list is
Adventure?
No, that was fine. What was it? There was something I totally disagreed with that I don't even remember.
Scott Pilgrim versus the World?
No, that's freaking awesome. What are you talking about? Love that movie.
Well, I'll give them to you again. Terminator.
Good.
Starship Troopers.
Terrible.
Camp, the Fifth Element. Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Yeah.
Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Yeah.
Scott Pilgrim, The Fly, and Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah, no.
So you just didn't like Forrest Gump.
No, not Forrest Gump.
Wrong.
I love Forrest Gump. What are you talking about? The Starship Troopers is terrible.
You didn't like that?
No.
It's Verhoeven at his finest.
Oh, whatever.
Michael Ironside? Come on.
Yeah, I love Michael Ironside. I just don't like that movie. Anyways, we'll get on with my top 13. It's actually top 13 for me. I got no honorable mentions, but I snuck in 3 more just because.
I threw in 10 extra, so.
Well, there you go. So this top 13 sci-fi / fantasy, but mostly fantasy, to be honest. I'm not going to do this quiz version. I'm just going to give them to you, Jim. So number 13.
All right, let's have it.
Number 13, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure from 1989. Yes, it was educational and entertaining. I
love your crossover there, though. Sorry, I just have to add.
Yep.
Your crossover, the fact that it's actually a comedy, but it made it into your sci-fi.
It's absolutely sci-fi fantasy. Number 12, I have The Princess Bride. This is the second best movie that Rob Reiner ever made. I still say this is Spinal Tap is the best movie ever made, but it's not a sci-fi fantasy, so it didn't make the list. Number 11, another one from Terry Gilliam, Time Bandits. I
love Time Bandits.
This is actually the first of 2 Terry Gilliam movies on the list.
What?
Yeah.
Brazil made it?
Crazy.
That's great.
What's that? No, Brazil didn't. Brazil, you know what? Brazil probably could have. I don't know what it would take the place of, though.
It would be number 14. Maybe.
It might be number 14. Definitely top 20. Number 10, Ex Machina, 2014. Alicia Vikander.
She's so good.
So good in this as Ava.
Sorry, they are so good. She doesn't identify as she, I think.
Yes, right. They. Number 9, Children of Men from 2006. It's an intelligent apocalyptic movie starring Clive Owen. I can't get enough of Clive Owen. It's great.
He's one of my man crushes.
There you go.
Clive Owen.
Number 8, 12 Monkeys from 95. Terry Gilliam strikes again.
Great film.
Yes. Number 7. This one I just kind of snuck in there. Midnight in Paris from 2011. You know, Owen Wilson takes a midnight stroll and finds himself back in the 1920s. I absolutely love that movie.
What? You put a Woody Allen on there?
I snuck a Woody Allen movie into Sci-Fi Fantasy, my friend. Who saw that coming?
He's got a few you could do that.
You actually could, yeah. But you know what? This was actually the last Woody Allen movie I really, really enjoyed, and I really enjoyed it. Midnight in Paris is
I did
just
too,
fantastic.
man. I did too.
Number 6, Moon from 2009. A whole lot of Sam Rockwell talking to himself and a computer for 90 minutes. That's entertainment. Seriously. Number 5. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, which was your
look at that
one, from 2004. And all I have to say about that is it has Mark Ruffalo in it, so of course it's good.
It's true.
Number 4, Edward Scissorhands, which was another one on your also-rans from 1990. You know, I just had to get some Tim Burton on the list. Big Fish and Beetlejuice almost made it, but you know, when push came to shove, had to put this one on.
Good choice, yeah.
Yeah. So now we're down to my top 3. Number 3, Stranger Than Fiction from 2006. I think Mark Forster, I think, is an underrated director. Period. He's made a lot of good stuff. And Will Ferrell is the perfect Harold Crook in this. The movie just makes me smile. I'm smiling the whole time I'm watching it. Which brings us to number 2, which I can't believe wasn't on your list. Being John Malkovich from 1999. This movie is what the word original was intended to describe. It's pure genius. Love this movie. And my
total mindset.
Yeah. My number 1 sci-fi / fantasy of all time is, wait for it, Dude, Where's My Car from 2000. This is the best sci-fi movie ever made, period. If you ever wondered what a fridge full of pudding would look like, this movie has it. If you ever wanted the following to be said in a movie, it's a breakdancing stripper I messed that up. It's a breakdancing stripper emergency. This movie has that as well. And finally, always remember that the continuum transfunctioner is a very mysterious and powerful device, and its mystery is only exceeded by its power. That's it. That's my best sci-fi fantasy, but mostly fantasy list. What do you think of that, Jim?
Well, I'm super surprised that we could compare The Wizard of Oz with Dude, Where's My Car?
Those are our 2 number 1s. Whoever thought that those would be number 1s on the same list? That is a little crazy.
List, but that's, you know what? I did enjoy Dude, Where's My Car?
How could you not?
I'm not going to.
How could you not?
It was definitely Mondo. No more and then.
Yeah.
It's just, it's funny, another one of your crossovers you fooled us with. Is this a fantasy, a sci-fi? No, it's a comedy. It's a bunch of idiots.
That's pretty much it. All right, sir. That takes care of our...
I do have one more.
Go ahead.
I do have one more. You had one of your ones on your list would have been a mess for me. Give me your top 10 quickly. Yep.
Top 10. Ex Machina, Children of Men, 12 Monkeys, Midnight in Paris, Moon, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, Edward Scissorhands, Stranger Than Fiction, Being John Malkovich.
Stranger Than Fiction.
What?
Love that movie. Would have been a mess. That's our only disagreement. Other than that, your list was solid.
Yeah. So with that being said,
not bad. It was a mess. It would have been a rage.
Yes.
Temperature rising. Vision blurring. Rage taking over.
All right, my rage this week
Yes.
is bad in movies. And this particular week, it's superhero films are killing me with oversaturation. We talked a little bit about this earlier in the year, where I've kind of said, Marvel, I want to puke on you for your next I don't know, 10 movies. I have no interest in seeing any Marvel movie. I'm so sick of Marvel. It's kind of good that there is this giant gap with not having to go to the theaters to see another Marvel movie. I'm more excited about DC. Everything I've been seeing from DC is just a little bit more quirky, a little bit more grainier, a little bit more dirtier. They had our buddy Vin Diesel in that one that just came out. The hell is that one called? Bloodshot, which, you know, it's another comic book movie. I have no interest to see it. And then this was like almost like a crossover when we watched Code 8. It was kind of like, oh, it's like the Hunger Games meets these other terrible sci-fi shows. And it's just, I don't know why Hollywood does that. It's like they hit a genre and it's kind of like, oh, look at Marvel's doing all these things and we can get peripheral business by putting a superhero movie out that isn't really any good, but because everybody's going to see superhero movies, they'll just come and see our piece of crap. And it's just like, no, stop doing it. Like in total contrarian to that, like you have I'm not sure if you saw Brightburn. Did you see Brightburn?
Yep. Loved Brightburn.
I loved it too. Like an evil Superman? Come on.
It was cool.
It was like one of my favorite movies of 2019. I thought that kid was had creepy kid going for it.
It did.
He's Superman but evil. Like it was a solid movie. And again, they classified it as a drama horror mystery. But really it's an anti-superhero movie.
That's what it was.
Right? And then Freaks. We talked a little bit about that. Did you see Freaks? Freaks played at was it Cup last year?
Yeah, I didn't love Freaks. I that was what Bruce Dern was in it, right?
Yeah.
No, he was great. It was okay. It was a lot.
But
it was a whole lot better than that piece of crap we watched this week, Code 8.
Yeah, stop. Just stop. It's just kind of like when zombies got popular and vampires got popular. It's like, and then all of a sudden it's like, yeah, we haven't seen for a while. We haven't seen a vampire movie. So, let's write about 10 of them because, we'll write one good one and then everybody will just jump on the bandwagon and go, hey, let's watch some vampire movies. And it's like, now it's like when we come back from the break, what's going to be the fad? What was the summer fad supposed to be?
Yes.
Oh, guess what? More Marvel, right? It was going to be, I don't know, some other stupid Marvel movie that's coming out. And I'm just like,
a whole lot of Marvel going
Disney's
on. Marvel's into what? Phase 2 of whatever they're doing now, right? Or 4.
Well, I don't know.
Phase 4.
Phase 4.
Phase 4, whatever.
4.
So,
and it's like, okay, this phase is never going to end.
Well,
yeah,
it's not.
Like,
They can cycle through a lot of phases. There's a lot of source material for Marvel.
Yeah, I want new material, man. We've talked about this in the past too. I want, I guess I have my weakness, which is zombie flicks. If a zombie flick comes out, I'm gonna see it. I don't care what it is. But superhero genre, I'm getting so tired of it. Unless it's darker.
Oh, remember when it was like a super big deal? Like when I was like 12 or 13, we get like maybe one superhero movie a year if we were lucky. Sometimes it'd be like 2 years before we get a superhero. That was fantastic, and we'd look forward to it.
Yeah.
So, and now we're getting 6 a year or 7 or 8 or whatever it is. Just the major releases, and then we got a bunch of knockoffs that come out too. So I'm on board with your rage here.
How about Last American Hero? Remember that?
I do.
Or sorry, Greatest American Hero.
It was the greatest. No, it was the Greatest American Hero, I believe. That wonderful TV show with the curly haired gentleman.
I love that show. What's the guy's name? William Pat, I think his name. Yeah, Greatest American Hero. I think it only ran for 2 seasons. But
believe it or not, I'm walking on air. I
Walking
never thought I could feel so free. Suddenly I'm on a wing and a prayer. Who could it be? Believe it or not, it's just me.
It was just him too.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. I want to go back to our childhood and see movies.
Remember that?
based
Wasn't
on
it
books.
awesome? You know, that one superhero movie would come out and it would be so exciting, and no, there's just it's not the same anymore.
Yep,
I
it's
tell you.
true. Anyways,
Couple of old
that's my
dudes
rage this
reminiscing
week.
about when they were younger.
Yeah, and The Greatest American Hero. I think it's on Prime, so people can watch it
There
if
you
they
go.
really wanted to see how bad it is now.
It was so
I think
awful.
I tried to pick it up a year or so ago. I was like, oh, why did I like this show?
Yes. No, it was pretty bland to say the least.
Yep. All right, what you got this week?
What do I got this week? That is a good question. I've got movies that put on the screen 3 months later or 1 year earlier. Literally have printed on the screen the amount of time that has passed or how far back the next scene takes place. If as a filmmaker you're unable to convey this from your script or from the look of the surroundings or from the look of your characters and, you know, the dialogue said characters are speaking, then you are not a very good filmmaker. This is just a lazy device and it's rarely necessary for any competent director. That's my rage. It's short and it's to the point. What do you say about that, Jim?
Well, give me some egg samples for things that sort of
you know what? I don't
brought
even,
you to that.
I don't. Just recently, like even when we were watching that John Travolta thing, whatever it was.
Oh yeah.
They just stuck it in there, and that's where it kind of stemmed from. But they put it in like so many movies. It's just overused. All of a sudden, you're watching the movie, and then like 1 year earlier, and they go back a year. You know what? You don't have to put 1 year earlier if you're a competent filmmaker. You can just actually, through your direction, through the dialogue, through what the characters look like, you can show me. You don't have to tell me.
Yeah, no, it's true. There's a lot of times where they do that, where they'll move. Like, okay, here's a perfectly good example. Now, granted, you didn't need to say for It, for example, right? Where it's kind of obvious they're kids and now they're adults.
Yeah.
They don't need to tell you this is
and that,
whatever, and this is whatever.
I just don't like that device where they're literally put on this 3 months later. Do you really need to do that? If you're a competent filmmaker, you don't need to do that. You can just show me.
Yeah, I agree. But that goes back to some of our other comments about things that make us rage.
Yeah.
Is when a director, either because they're not good, or because they're actually just like putting stuff in that assumes that everybody's stupid.
That assumes it, and that's the
Now,
whole
is it
thing.
because-
They over-explain everything because they think people are dumb, and I think that everybody's just got to give these filmmakers got to give us more credit. I don't know.
Well, or just assume that potentially the people watching the movie have more intelligence than they do.
Yeah. So as I say,
Right?
I just find it's just an unnecessary, lazy device, and I just don't get me wrong. There will be certain situations. There's exceptions to every rule, but 99%, well, maybe not 99, but 90% of the time, it's completely unnecessary.
Yeah, I gotta agree. This is like a montage.
Yes.
Another one of your favorite things to rage about
It
is
is indeed.
montages. It's kind of like the weak director's easy poke stick for Bryce. We're gonna have a montage, and then we're gonna tell you it's back in time by 6 months and 3 days.
I tell you.
Well, I gotta say, I completely agree with it, and I think that was a good rage.
Okay. Well, that is nice of you to say, Jim.
Rage.
I know, right?
Subsiding. Pulse slowing. Anger fading.
All right.
Oh, I'm glad we got that off our chest, though.
It
Both
is-
of those rages were
it-
brewing in me, so I'm
it's
glad
a
you
good
brought
thing.
yours up too.
Yes.
This, we are going to talk about
I think
Rage or Dare
it's
from
time.
last week.
Time for Rage or Dare.
Yeah, so last week you and I pulled from Murray's sweet bag
Yes.
the worst movie either one of us has ever seen.
Pretty much.
It was Top Gun.
Ugh.
So, just like movies about cars or boats or any other type of transportational mode, except maybe bikes, the movie about planes had no chance from the start, because I find watching plane chases as interesting as any other kind of chase, except potentially zombie chases.
Just
They're boring
interject
as
for
fuck.
just a second. Do you realize that this movie was actually based on they saw two dudes standing in front of a plane in some magazine article and decided to make an actual movie about it?
That's what the plot was.
I know.
So it doesn't surprise me that. I'm glad you told me that.
Yeah, it's like they literally saw a picture in a magazine and said, "Let's make a movie." But keep on going, Jim.
Hey, Danger Zone, Take My Breath Away, and You Lost That Loving Feeling.
Oh God.
The only soundtrack for the entire movie. If they wanted to have, now keep in mind, one of these songs is kind of an action-y kind of song. So if they were in an action mood, they would put on Danger Zone. Or then they had Take My Breath Away, which was kind of a slow, melodical pacing for the movie. They could have Take My Breath Away. And then when they wanted to put some romance in there because they assume that everybody's too dumb to realize that this is where the romance is happening, they put in You've Lost That Loving Feeling.
They did.
They were the only things for the entire soundtrack. Wow. The entire emotional well-being of the film was counted on by one subpar, one okay, and one pretty good song.
It had the Top Gun theme going for it too. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, it was in there sprinkled throughout. Harold Faltermeyer at his best. Or worst. I'm not sure which. Maybe worst. I think his best
worst.
is his worst. I don't know.
It's all running together. Dialogue's so cheesy. I thought it was produced by Kraft, and I almost want to look that up to see if Kraft actually did produce it.
Kraft produced
or
the
at
dialogue.
At least executive produced it.
Yes.
I'm just not a big fan of macho bullshit tech movies.
A whole lot of that.
There's the whole plot of it. Some of the great your ego is writing checks your body can't cash. You guys are number one. I could list out every TV line in the movie but it is the entire script. Every line of dialogue was just cheesy.
Yeah.
The best thing in this movie, hands down to me, though, I gotta say, number one with a bullet. I gotta say it.
Yeah.
Michael Ironside.
Yeah.
By far, he was the only good thing about that whole movie.
Yeah.
Not sure why people would deny the homoerotic tension between Tom and Val.
Oh,
it was so heavy. I thought it was Greek tragedy.
It
not
was
American macho film.
dripping. It was absolutely dripping.
Oh, I know. Also used in the film, the line, "I want some butt." And volleyball. Who doesn't love a greasy game of volleyball? Actually, one of my favorite scenes, if you were watching it, they're all playing volleyball. They're all oiled up. And then they cut and they show Tom Cruise coming off. And the guy's like, "Come on, buddy, come back and play volleyball with us half naked." And he's like, "No, I'm going to go see my girlfriend. She's not my girlfriend yet." And he's completely unoiled.
He's gonna go see his mustache.
Yeah, his mustache. Exactly. He's going to see his mustache, but then he's not see anymore. Like, to see your girlfriend, why would he not have not put his t-shirt on, just threw his leather jacket on?
His beard, I should say.
Yeah, yeah, his beard, exactly. And also, like, why did they find the asshole Tom Cruise in this movie endearing at all? He was a sexist asshole to everybody.
Oh, yeah.
And he was just, if he wasn't a sexist to the women, he was an asshole to everybody else.
That comes down to what I'll be saying about it. Yep.
Well, take the baton, buddy.
All right. So, as you were just mentioning, they gave me no reason to care about this arrogant prick known as Maverick. He's just an awful person. Why couldn't he have died in the crash? Sure, Goose was
I know,
annoying,
right?
but at least he wasn't a total butthole. Anyways, terrible soundtrack, terrible characters, terrible dialogue, and overall just a noisy mess of a movie. I hated this movie.
It was the most rage I've ever felt in a movie ever.
So
and you know
much
what the sad
rage.
thing about it is, because when it first came out, so what year did this
I
pile
don't
of
know.
trash come out? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
I'm just looking at it right now.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so Top Gun
1980 something.
came out in 1986. Now, I don't know how old you were in 1986.
That would have made me 12.
Okay, so in 1986, I would have been 20.
Yeah.
So, as a 20-year-old watching this when it first came out, even then I was kind of like, I cannot believe that this actually got all the buzz and all the awareness that this got. I came out of the theater going, what? Why didn't anybody like that? This is one of the only movies I've given a 1 in IMDb.
Yeah. Deservedly so.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yes.
Wow. I think that was a pretty solid double whammy rage from the two of us.
Yeah, no,
I have to say-
Murray achieved exactly what he was going for there. Although
Yeah,
he
did.
kind of liked it, but
Yeah,
once
he
again,
may
mission
have fun.
accomplished. It's actually
mission accomplished.
it's actually this rage or dare that we've been doing over the last few weeks. Pretty much is batting 1,000. We have hated
I
every
don't think
movie
it-
we've had to watch.
Yeah, I've had to watch a lot of musicals though.
Yeah, I felt so bad for you a couple times. Not really.
Well, I know. Okay, then let's it's your turn this week. So
It's my
do you want
turn.
a rage or a dare? Because I've got a rage.
I'm
There's,
always tempted to just go from the rage bag because you've got like a whole week to think about the dare, and I just
so you
I
think
always
I've actually
think
thought
I always
about
think
it?
that might be the lesser of two evils to just pluck out of the bag. But then again,
maybe.
there might be some pretty awful stuff in
those
there.
might
'cause-
have been the top.
yeah, those might have
those
been
might have
actually
been
the
the
worst
top-
of the worst, and
the
you know
top
you've got
10.
your also rans. Yeah, this is a difficult choice.
You know what? Not very many people have chose dare yet.
You
Maybe
know
it's
what?
Something you should try.
I'm against my better judgment. I will take dare. Lay it on me, Jim.
All right. Well, today I have for you, and I've been saving this for a while.
Oh, good.
Because this movie, Murray dragged me to last summer.
Oh,
and,
it's a recent one.
Yeah, it's recent. So you can probably find it somewhere.
I-
You are going to have to watch
yeah.
Pokemon Detective Pikachu.
You gotta be kidding me.
No, I am not.
Well, I haven't seen it at least. Some of these other ones I've already seen, so I guess it's got that going for it.
Yeah, that's been around for a while.
Pokemon Detective Pikachu. Okay, so
That is
do I need
correct.
to know anything going into this movie, or can I go into it cold? Like, should I be doing some Pokemon research so I can truly
You might
enjoy
want to
this?
you might want to buy a set of cards and play Pokemon
Is-
Detective Pikachu
is
with
that-
your girlfriend.
is that
but
an-
make it stripped version.
Is that an actual game? Like, there's a card game called Pokemon Detective Pikachu?
No, but I think there's the Pokemon game. But you guys just do the stripped version of it instead. So just find your own way of playing the Pokemon card game, but making sure that you're stripping instead of, doing whatever actions you do in a Pokemon game.
Outstanding. So anyways, I will be watching Pokemon Detective Pikachu, and I will be giving you my review on next week's episode.
That is right. This will be something that for the ages to know that this is a recent movie, just like our friend Sonic, that potentially could give you and me the most pleasure we've had in a while.
All right. Well, as I say, I haven't seen it, so who knows? Maybe I'll like it. It's not out of the question, right?
this was one of my hardest rages for last year. And in fact, I'm pretty positive it made my worst 5 movies of last year. So
really? No.
if you do like it, I mean, it's happened. I've raged on things that you actually love. So maybe this will be your you'll love this and it'll make me feel sad.
It's not out of the realm of possibilities.
It is. Well,
All right, sir.
That's Rage or Dare for this week. So enjoy that little gift I've given you. And that takes us to the end of this week.
It does.
So, before we close, I just wanted to say, so next week we're going to have a little bit of we're going to take a break from our favorites. Next week we're going to, the South by Southwest has put on their website, for anybody that's listening, they've got their shorts packages that we can see. So
Cool.
we're going to be screening the shorts packages from South by Southwest, and we're going to talk about that as a big part of our streaming. There won't be a lot of streaming next week. Next week will be focused on South by Southwest.
Dominated by the South by Southwest shorts. I'm really looking forward to that.
As am I. All right. Well, that's the closing. So thanks, Ragers, for listening. Thanks to the extended Film Rage crew of Murray, who's away until further notice. Stephanie DeRoy for social media, currently also on leave. Leonard Conlon for his artistic vision and photography via Leonard Conlon Photography. Leonard's going to be getting us some updated photography here coming soon, so that I can't wait for that. Listen to us on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and Spotify. Please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and on our YouTube channel. And check out our new website, which I will give it to you one more time, which is filmrageyyc.com. Stay tuned and look at us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Post some stuff for us. We're always wanting your feedback to make this a raging blast for all listeners. So please comment often and please make us rage. Please, please. That's it for this week. Rage on.
Rage on.